Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I really do like the fact that we're talking about this, because I think a lot of us do have that fear of like what people are thinking of us. And then it's also why do people have the fear to reach out to us and use our products? Like you're saying, like we're just sharing something that we like. And I love what you said there, Kaylin. Like if these were on the shelves at the store, people would buy them because they work. It's almost like the fear that they're gonna disappoint you as a person. Like, you're my friend, I'm gonna buy from you, but what if I don't do well, or what if I want to stop, or that they can't. It's hard for them to tell us no. So we've got to figure out how to make that comfort level to where it doesn't. If you're not interested, you're not interested. And it's okay to not be interested. You can still be my friend. So I was just talking to Kate about this too. We had a call at 8:30 about my why, and like how I'm really good at getting people, comfortable talking to me about it and getting their information, and like they want me to share information with them, but it's always like the last 10 yards. Like why all of a sudden at the, like right before they're going to order or right before they're going to sign up, they kind of like get silent, or they freak out. And it's got to be something where I am not showing my belief in some avenue. And I think that's why it is so important for us to post every day, and having those posts be genuine. They can't be generic, and they can't be salesy. They have to be genuinely open-minded and open-hearted and vulnerable and just real. Like, I'm not drinking my coffee every day. Even if it's something simple like that, they just have to be everyday things and moments. They don't have to be exceptional every time. You know what I mean? They don't have to be mind-blowing. But I think sometimes when we do try to think of our posts, we're like, they have to say everything and they have to have all the details in it. And we really need to stop thinking that way. And we also need to start leading with the opportunity, because the opportunity is more enticing and actually the bulk of it, rather than just the products. Because our community, like our team in particular, like we have to start talking about how bonded we are together, and how we do love to get together and actually have dinner together and actually have get-togethers, because we aren't just saying, oh, it's going to be so supportive and it's going to be great, and people are like, yeah, whatever, that I don't know if I believe you. But we really do that. So we need to make sure that we're actually sharing that with people, that we really are a supportive community. We really do that for each other. But I know what you're saying. Like, how do we got to keep it real to where I'm just that same person that you knew 10 years ago that did sell you pies that my dad made. And it was okay if you didn't like it, but yeah.
Yeah. Like there's just like, oh, like you said, there's like a wall.
Your system.
What?
Now you're just trying to get that unhealthy pie out of.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I think it's just us like having that belief in the opportunity and figuring out how ways to make it come across. And I think that we're going to start growing that as a team. But I do think that it is important for us to understand the products. I mean, we need to know how to share it in a way that's going to be the most effective way possible. And I guess you asked me your questions, but I think I'm going to go through each product and just say some major things about them and what they're for. And I know that a lot of us have probably heard this, but then we can come up with questions as we're going through this. So write them down if you have questions. But I'm going to start with the Slim, because that's our main product, right? The chromium is what levels our blood sugar. And the whole idea of this is that the Plexus created Slim for diabetics. And I don't know if we all know that, but they created it for type 2 diabetics and pre-diabetics. And they found that those who were taking it were losing weight. And so that's why it became a weight loss supplement. And that's where the name Slim came from. And it's why we always are trying, I struggle with that name, because it seems like it really should just be called Balance, because it's balancing your blood sugars. And the whole idea of why you're losing weight is because of the idea that you're balancing your blood sugars, you're not going up and down, your blood sugars aren't going up and down, you're not crashing throughout the day. So you have more energy to actually move around. You're not always constantly thinking about how you want to nap, and you're not grabbing like quick carbs. You actually can be thoughtful about your food choices, and that eventually, after it becomes a habit, day after day after day, that's why people are losing weight. It's not losing the weight for you. Yes, you're burning fat, not muscle, because of the other ingredients that are in there. The alpha, oh gosh, I should have the package in front of me. Oh my gosh, alpha-politic acid. That is something to research, because of what that does and the benefits of that. I think that could be powerful for everyone to know. But the idea that, it makes your cholesterol go into normal range, and your lipids, putting those into normal range. I think those are things that you need to research on your own and make sure that you understand what that means. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about the Probiotic 5 and why people find that the Probiotic 5 is so important. Well, we all are hearing gut health in the media more, in research and things like that. And so I think that Plexus is in the forefront of gut health. And the reason the Probiotic 5 is set apart from so many other probiotics is because we have 3 digestive enzymes. That is the key thing that I tell people about when they're like, oh, well, I take a probiotic. And I'm like, well, does it have digestive enzymes in it? Because if it does not have digestive enzymes, you are not killing the bad bacteria that is growing in your stomach. And there is a gut-brain axis where your gut is controlling your hormones and the chemicals within your body, and it speaks to your brain. And when that bacteria is saying, I want sugar, and the reason they're saying I want sugar is because bacteria feeds on sugar, right? Carbs turn into sugar, any type of sugars they're feeding on. And if we're not killing them, well, then the good bacteria that you're putting in there isn't really doing its job, or isn't as worth it as it is when you have those digestive enzymes killing bad bacteria, so that your numbers can get leveled out. Because if you just keep on putting good and none of the bad is going away, well, then that's not doing as much for you as something like Probiotic 5s. Because a lot of people who are taking probiotic already switch to Probiotic 5. They're like, wow, why do I feel different? It's because you're killing that yeast, that candida overgrowth. And it also has an antifungal. So we have fungus within our intestines, and we have to be telling people, you want to get rid of that fungus. That is just sitting and rotting in your stomach and in your intestines and in your guts. And that's why for me, my acid reflux went away. I really truly believe it's because I was digesting things thoroughly, and before I was not. And so then the BioCleanse is a magnesium supplement. So a lot of people are scared of BioCleanse because they think it's a cleanse, and they think they're going to be running to the bathroom every 5 minutes. Well, no, you're not going to be running to the bathroom every 5 minutes. A lot of people are actually surprised. They're like, wait a minute, I was hoping, I was a little nervous about it, but I was kind of hoping that I would poop a ton, and it's like, no, that's not what it does. Yes, someone who has problems with constipation, it's going to help you become more regular, but it's not going to force your body to do that. The reason is because magnesium hydrates your colon, and so it's about building up a strong intestinal tract and having it function the way it's supposed to. It's not going to force your body to go to the bathroom more than it needs to. Now, if somebebody has too much magnesium, yes, it might turn into loose stools. So you have to make sure that they get their balance of what their body needs. Like some people I know only take one one BioCleanse. I, on the other hand, take 3 every morning. Now, on certain days, and I've gotten to know my body, on certain days, I'll take 2 more in the afternoon. That's what my body can handle, So the other thing about the BioCleanse is that it oxygenates your blood. Cancer cells don't like, and diseases do not like oxygenated blood. So it's just something else to be thinking about. Maybe do a little research on what oxygenated blood even means. I think that that's just, it would be a strong tool to have to understand what that does for your body. And that's why the triplex is so incredible, because weight loss has been connected to your gut health, because if you don't have these permeable holes in your intestines where, like how it comes together is just kind of gets these spaces because of how poor the health is in your intestines, that those toxins aren't going into your body. And there's so many different diseases and things like that, and autoimmune diseases that people and other ailments that have to do with your hormones, that all three of those work on making those systems work the way they're supposed to, so that those diseases symptoms disappear. And that's why it helps so many different people, because a lot of people are skeptic, because they're like, well, how come someone who has IBS helps someone with IBS, but then it helps someone with constipation, or it helps someone with diabetes, or then it helps someone with eczema, and then it helps someone with psoriasis, but then it helps someone who has an autoimmune disease, with their thyroid. Like, why is it all these different people have all these different elements? Because I think what we're used to is that one medication for one problem, right? And so I think that people are so used to that they think, well, it should only help you with one thing, not everything. But really, that's why we always try to say it heals your body from the inside out. And then the X factor, the reason X factor is so important is because it has aloe vera in it. That is the key thing. I did a little, in the beginning when I first started taking the products, I did a little bit of research on aloe vera and why that was so important. And I think that that's key to understand, that aloe vera acts as a taxi driver for your vitamins to be absorbed by the cells that need them. And the thing is, too, that the X factor is methylated vitamins. So that means that, and a lot of people who need to have methylated vitamins, the reason is because methylated vitamin is not synthetic. So that's something to make sure you understand about the whole idea of methylation. Sometimes people are methylated vitamins. It's like a spray that you put in your mouth. What's cool about X Factor is that it's in a capsule. And then we also have to understand that X Factor Plus has polyphenols. Polyphenols are very, very important, and something else to make sure to look up and research. And the idea that the New Zealand black currant is in our X Factor, that's awesome, because a lot of iron that's synthetic can cause constipation. So for me, I think that that's been very, very helpful too, to have a multivitamin that doesn't constipate me, because I would have to, when I took a prenatal vitamin, I would have to take separate vitamins. I couldn't take it as a multi because it would constipate me. And when I think about it, I swear it was the source of iron. So it's understanding the sources that Plexus uses to get their vitamins. I think that's important. What else about the X Factor? The polyphenols, we already talked about that. Okay. And then the X Factor Kids, obviously, is incredible. It's out of stock. I think that's really, really cool. It's good to know that so many people are understanding that this is an incredible product. That's only, $27, $28 as a preferred customer, to get 13 essential vitamins and 3 probiotic strands in a chewable for children. I think that's incredible. So unfortunately, it doesn't have the New Zealand black currant, but it's important to know that not every the amount of iron for children is different than for adults. And also, since it is a chewable, it's very dangerous to get overdosed on iron. So that's why they pulled that out of that product. But it's not an essential vitamin that necessarily all children need. They do need to get iron from other sources, but not necessarily a multivitamin. And I think too, just X Factor, and both the kids X Factor and the adult X Factor, the X Factor Plus, I think it's important for us to understand that our soil is depleted. It's over-farmed. The nutrients are not the same as they used to be 30 to 50 years ago. Our carrots don't have the same nutrients as they did back then. Our tomatoes, one tomato is worth 50, one tomato from 50 years ago is worth 50 tomatoes today. And it's incredible. Me just having my garden this past summer, eating the cherry tomatoes out of the garden were so much more tasty and just full of color. And than anything we could buy at the store. And I think that it's that idea that our foods are not the quality that we think or hope they would be, and that's it's important for people to understand that, and that's why we think multivitamin is so essential and needed. I think the next thing is the Plexus body cream I want to talk about, because I actually feel like I learned this late in the game, that the Plexus body cream, which has the charcoal and the spirulina algae in it, was actually originally created because we were a breast health company before they even created the Slim. The cream was created for scars if you had a mastectomy or if you had radiation therapy, because those can leave burns. And I'm like, I really didn't know that in the beginning, but like 2 months in, I decided to give Caroline the Probiotic 5 and use the body cream to heal her eczema scar. Like, she was literally bleeding in the crevices of her elbows and in our armpits, and it healed that within like overnight. It was so incredible. You could see every night it get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. So that's huge for like sunburns. I use it on sunburns when I went to Florida, for leaders retreat, and when we went with our kids, it's like if you got any little bit overexposure of sun, it just heals it like hours later. You can tell a difference. So it has extreme healing powers. And my mother-in-law started using it on her face, and she's like, my skin used to feel crepey and now it doesn't. So it's really got some really good healing power in there. So I think that's a product that gets overlooked a lot, but we really need to be thinking about that. And so then if we get back to like nutrition, our Omega X is an omega blend. So, and we have to all know and think about how it's plant-based. So when you take it, you don't have those fishy burps. Whenever I've taken omegas before, I've always had those fishy burps, and I've always kind of fallen off the wagon because of that. And the fact that it's sourced from plants, I think is pretty incredible. So the impact that we're having is different than if it was a fish omega. There's 6 different omegas: omega 3, omega 6, 9, 5, and 7. And an ALA and SDA rich soft gel. And so the other thing that's amazing about the Omega X is that it's gluten-free and it's carrageenan free. When they first created Omega X, they on the ingredients label, they had carrageenan, and that's just like a bonding agent, I believe. I guess I could look into that a little bit more about exactly what it is. But all I know is that carrageenan is not good for gut health, and it's not good for your health in general to be consuming that. Like, some cottage cheeses have carrageenan in them. So it's also an ingredient that people have been warned about on labels for even food. So they took it out right away. That's what I love about Plexus as well. Is the ambassadors were like, "What? You have carrageenan in it?" And Lori Harrison, who is someone who is a huge gut health person with Plexus, she right away, she contacted them, all the ambassadors contacted them, and they took it out right away. So that's something really cool to think about. And so it does actually, it's something to think about and say, it's gluten-free and it's carrageenan-free. So I think that's something really cool. And then the P96, that has the whey protein. And if you have ever heard anything about, there's different proteins have different qualities. And so it's very important to some people of what that source is, the protein source is. So I think it's something really to think about when you think about the P96, or if you ever have somebody who you think would be interested in that product, or an ambassador who would be interested in that product, it's the source of the whey protein. And it's something that can be mixed with coconut water, coconut milk. It can be also mixed with fruits and vegetables. It can be mixed with even the Slim. Like, people do that belly buster with it when they do the vanilla P96 with the Slim, and then they put coconut milk with it, and they call that their breakfast. But the thing with the P96 to be aware of is that it is only 100 calories. It was 96 calories, but I think now it's 100. I'm not sure, but I could double check. But just to be careful with that, because it's not a meal replacement. It is considered a snack. And the reason it's considered a snack is because you can mix it with water. And what's really cool about the P96 is in traveling packets. It's in the individualized packets. So I think that's something that we all need to be kind of, talking up to if you ever want to talk about the P96, is that it can go with you anywhere. And that's the other thing. Any of these products can go with you anywhere. None of them have to be refrigerated, which I think is a huge, huge benefit. So I think that's all I wanted to say about the P96. And then the boost and the accelerator. Let's talk about that a little bit. The accelerator is for somebody who doesn't have a workout regimen and maybe wants to put that into their lifestyle, and who really wants to increase their metabolism. Because both increase your metabolism and both are thermogenics, but the way the accelerator works and is formulated for, it's more of a weight management program. Like, are you wanting to start to be more active? The boost is for someone who already is more active, and already has a workout regimen, and can be like a pre-workout type of thing. So something to think about. And the accelerator, because of the 5-HTP factor in it, it's very, you want to make sure that the whole idea of the whole anxiety and depression medication with that, because too much of that is not a good thing when you have too much of a serotonin booster in it. And then the other thing with Accelerator, you just have to be careful, and you have to warn people that for some people it makes them very, very, their appetite increase. Okay. We have 10 minutes. It will increase their appetite, and some people literally are like want to eat everything, and they're like, I want to eat my couch, So you just got to be careful that you warn them about that. And if they say that that's happening to them, just have them stop it and return it. And then they can try Boost if they really do want a metabolism booster. And with Accelerator, you don't want any, I think with both, most likely because they're thermogenics, is the heart, if you have any kind of heart condition. Because Accelerator is equal to a cup of coffee. So for some, they might think, well, that's not a big deal, but it's just in a different form. So you just kind of want to be careful about that. And then that brings me to Edge. We can talk about Edge too, because I think we kind of almost forget about it sometimes. But that's a non-synthetic caffeine, and that Edge is incredible. So that's something that's really helps with that. If you're burning the candle at both ends too much and too often, Edge is a perfect source for that, because it really is it's just that it's the time that it gives you the energy for is a lot better than trying to drink a Red Bull or a pop or a coffee, because you crash after those, and then you just want more. And then if you don't get more, then you feel like crap. Where with the Edge, if it does wear off, you don't feel like you need any more, and you don't feel worse than when you started. So I think that's the thing, that non-synthetic caffeine, you don't have that after effect. And then our block, a lot of people have been asking me about block lately. It does block up 48% of your carbs, and you can take it right at the beginning of a meal. You don't have to wait 30 minutes like our old formula did. Because for a while there, when it first came out, you had to wait 30 minutes. You had to take it and then eat 30 minutes later. But now you can take it right when you eat. Some people have actually taken it when they go to bed. And the reason is because the way block works, it works with your enzymes throughout your digestive tract. So, really think about that and how you're going to explain that to somebody. Because I think people get scared with that word block. Like, it's not that you're blocking so many nutrients for your body that you're deficient, going to become deficient. It's just that, our food system is carb loaded. There's so many hidden carbs and so many hidden sugars that I think we think, oh, well, I don't want to block anything that my body needs. And it's like, well, your body actually doesn't need that many carbs. I think that we've been taught with the food plate and pyramid that we need so many carbs a day. And I think that that's just kind of changing. And we and because we've told that we need carbs and that carbs give us energy, that's not necessary, that our carbs that we eat to get our carbs, there's other sources. You can get carbs from plants and other good sources like that. And I mean, not plants, but I hope I'm being clear on that. You just don't need it from a piece of bread. Like, that's not the type of carbs. It's more like, from a sweet potato or a potato, those types of things. And so we overeat the carbs that are unnecessary. So our body, we think that we need carbs for energy, that we overeat them. And so the block just helps that. And this is another product that's good for diabetics because it helps with your glucose metabolism. And, those all carbs convert to sugars. And so we need to just be mindful of that. And the idea that the block works on your enzymes. So it's good to look at also the ingredients within the block, because many of those ingredients, like, they expand in your stomach, like the seaweed that's in it, and that helps you get fuller faster. So there's other benefits as well, because when I go to eat my pizza, not that I use it as a crutch, but it's helpful because when I'm just blocking those carbs, I don't eat half of the pizza. I only eat 2 pieces, and that's going to help you consistently change your eating habits and then eventually lose weight. And I think that's why people have had success in just block with losing weight. And then our plexus nerve is the only one that's been clinically proven to actually rebuild your nerves. And I think that's important for us to know so that we can tell the people that are taking the nerve that it's rebuilding your nerves. It's recreating those connections. That's why it's so powerful and so incredible. And Dr. Harris, his name is Dr. Harris. I don't remember his first name, but if we Google him on YouTube, you can put in Dr. Harris, plexus ease, and what did it used to be called? Jeez, now I can't even think of it. Oh my gosh. But if you put in Dr. Harris plexus, I'm sure his videos would pop up. But what was the ease used to, I cannot think of it right now. But he has some great videos out there explaining why they created ease and what it's doing, because it is for chronic pain. Like, plexus ease was created for chronic pain because we have medications out there and prescriptions that are written out for people who have chronic pain, but a lot of times those are addictive. And that's one thing that's huge, is that painkillers can become addictive. They ultimately have horrible side effects that a lot of people suffer from. And ease can replace that because it is for chronic pain. And it's just something for us to think about when we're talking to people, that, there is that fear that you could become addicted, and people have become addicted. And even when you're on pain meds and you're trying to wean off of them, there's horrible, horrible side effects from that because of what it's been created from. But the plexus ease can be used to replace even those narcotics that we're taking for pain. So it's something to think about when you're talking to people. And that New Zealand green-lipped mussels, those are something to research, something to look up, because they truly are incredible in what they can do for the body. They have other benefits than just pain. And then the plexus ease cream, people have used that on mosquito bites. They've used it on sunburns, and sore muscles, growing pains. And the thing about the plexus ease is that it doesn't have a smell. It doesn't have that nasty Bengay smell. And it goes on smooth, and it's not greasy, and it absorbs. I think all of those things that we experience when we touch, feel, and use these products, we should be sharing about, because I think those little things are just as big as the ingredients, if you know what I mean. That fact that the capsules aren't huge, that we can travel with them, that the slim is in a travel pack, it's not in a bottle already mixed, and how are you going to pack that to go on a trip? All of those good things. And the P96, they're in individual packets, and you can take them and put them in your car, that type of a thing, and have them on your way to work, and all those great things. I think That is key. And then our last thing is the breast check kit. I don't know if all of us know that we even have that, but that was featured on the doctors, and it's just it's very, very thin, and it amplifies the feel. So if you have like a little pebble underneath it, it amplifies the touch of it, and you can actually feel it, even though you wouldn't be able to feel it with a normal cloth. Okay, so we have 2.5 minutes. Are there any questions about what I have said? I feel like I tried to go as fast as I could so we could not get cut off.
Hold on, my phone is, I had to charge my phone and I have to turn it on.
Right? I've had that problem.
And I know I could look this up, but I just wanted to write it down if you know.
Yeah.
I watched this great video explaining about our ProBio 5, and she was explaining why everyone's like, oh, mine are in the fridge, so they're better. And then she explained how ours are delivered. And I'm drawing a blank on what she said. So we don't have to keep ours cold because we use and I forget. If you don't know, I know the video, but I was just wondering if you knew what it was.
Yeah, I don't know the term you're looking for, but the fact that they're dehydrated, I know that's why they don't have to be refrigerated. And I think it's like the quality is something I know what you're saying is with the quality of the strands that they've chosen and how they are.
They don't have to be refrigerated. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's how they're processed.
Okay. And they actually deliver into the stomach, so actually get them because they don't break down before they get to our gut. And
yeah, so so ones that have to be refrigerated, you have to be weary of because that means they can't handle any heat or a certain temperature. So ours can handle that. So that's an indicator that it can get through our stomach and get through our stomach acid down into our intestines. That's